Welcome to the Table for One podcast, hosted by me, Jerisha. This is a show about my life as I approach my 50th year, my loves, my experiences, my adventures, my general pursuit of happiness, all in the context of my favorite pastime, enjoying a meal. Have you ever been out to eat with someone and found yourself comparing your entree to theirs? You're perfectly fine with your selection. You're very excited for it to come to the table. And then you see theirs coming, smoking, sizzling, cheese dripping, sauce everywhere. And you immediately think, man, I should have ordered what they got. It's a common occurrence, but today we're exploring the really fine line between healthy motivation and harmful self-critique and self-doubt when it comes to comparison. It is all too easy to see the highlight reels of others and feel like we're just not measuring up. But on this episode, we're discussing how comparison can both hurt and help us. So grab a seat at the table and let's dive in. As a therapist, there are times when clients bring up issues that look very much like issues that I myself struggle with. And one of those consistent themes is that of comparison. Comparing myself to others that I see in my circle, my larger environment, on social media, it's an overwhelming practice. I'll give you an example. I've worked really hard to get my own private practice up and running. It has been such a blessing and it's growing exponentially, greater than I ever could have imagined. So I created a website for myself that fully functional. It's been very useful in drawing individuals to my business. I've been completely satisfied with my website. That is until I saw the website of my dear sister friend who was also starting her own private practice. I checked out her site and I gave her all of the praise and accolades that she deserved. The site was on point. Later, though, I found myself looking back at her site and immediately beginning to critique my own. The website, I found myself looking back at her site and immediately beginning to critique my own. The website that I had been completely satisfied with since October of 2019 was now woefully inadequate. I began to obsess over what I needed to change. Did I need to get professional pictures taken? Should I change my website platform? The rumination went on for hours until I stopped and I asked myself, what are you doing? Why are you comparing? Has your site become any less effective because you've now seen someone else's? And the answer was no. Comparison. There is such a fine line in using comparison as a motivator before it bleeds over to self critique and self doubt. It's so easy to see what someone else has and what they're doing, what they're posting. And from the outside, we assume that it's better than what we have. But notice I use the word assume because those thoughts that someone else is better equipped, happier, more talented, those are just assumptions. It's like you're looking through the window at a family who's eating dinner at the table, and you're outside moaning because you don't have a good meal to eat. But first of all, you have no idea if what they're eating is even appetizing or something you would want to eat. From the outside, everything always appears to be more shiny, more glamorous, better. But remember, when's the last time you posted a busted picture of yourself on Instagram or Facebook? How many shots does it take for you to finally get that perfect picture where you look nonchalantly unbothered but amazingly put together? And how many filters, crops, and face tuning adjustments did you use to make that picture look the way you wanted before you posted? Comparison is a helpful tool when it's used for good, not evil. So, to continue with my example, I was motivated after viewing my friend's site to go through my own site and make some tweaks to incorporate some of the features that I liked about her site into my own. I appreciated her site as an inspiration, and I feel that the few changes that I did make have made my site more comprehensive. That's how comparison is a tool to motivate. But most of us, however, have gone to the dark side and we use comparison for evil. Looking at something someone else has and thinking that what we have is no longer good enough or is lacking, or looking at what someone has accomplished and feeling that we are running behind on the timeline to reaching our goals. That's the comparison trap. This is a really common theme with the clients that I see in my practice. They all seem to have these invisible timelines that they are holding themselves accountable to. And these timelines are developed by markers that other people have set for themselves, or they're timelines that were set at a different point in the individual's life. Like maybe they were in high school thinking about what they'd like to do when they were 35. There's some obvious questions that come up for me as a therapist as I'm helping a client work through this process. The first question: why would you compare yourself to other people's timetables for achieving their personal goals? It's a really simple question, but a really difficult construct to get your head around. The same thing goes for setting a timeline at some point in the past and still holding yourself accountable now. I explain it to my clients like this: would you still try to get into the jeans that you wore when you were in high school? If you're like me, the prospect of doing that has long, long passed. But seriously, would you try to wear an outfit that you wore back when you were in high school? No. You're developed, you're matured, you may have gained weight, muscle, gotten taller, shorter. It's not going to be a good fit anymore. Why would you then hold yourself accountable to things that you said you wanted to do or saw for yourself in your future when you were in high school? You're now an adult in your 30s, 40s, 50s. Why would you hold yourself to the very limited prospects that you set for yourself? Because you didn't have foresight, you didn't have experience, you hadn't gone through anything. You're a different person now. Don't you deserve to have a different set of goals that better fit where you are in your life now? Or a better pair of jeans that fit you where you are in your life? The drive to be seen as equal to or better than is immeasurable. It's so easy to feel that you're not measuring up based on what you see others doing. But how do you know what you're seeing is accurate? Or do you know the backstory behind what someone has sacrificed or had to do to get the pretty picture that you see posted or talked about on social media? Is it something that you even want? I have a client who was upset because she didn't have children and that everyone in her cohort was having children. So I asked her if she wanted children. And she said, "No, I don't even like kids." I had to fix my face not to react the way that I really wanted to in that situation. But I think it drives home the point. How ludicrous it is to compare yourself to others and not feel that you're enough. I'm encouraging my clients to live in a world where it is both and, not just either or. Other people can have good things and great lives, and so can you. One doesn't cancel the other. I've encouraged clients to not feel that their timeline isn't measuring up to that of others. It won't ever measure up because it's your timeline based on your experiences, your desires, your goals. It may look similar to others. It may even follow many of the same paths as others, but it's always uniquely your own. So maybe you haven't gotten married yet because you were focused on knocking out grad school and getting your career started. Maybe you don't have children yet because you and your partner decided you wanted to travel before starting a family. Maybe you don't have a fancy car because you're saving your money for a down payment on a house. Maybe you don't have hair down your back because you don't feel like putting the money, time, and energy into keeping hair that long looking decent. Maybe you're not a size 0 because your mom is 5'11" and your dad is 6'5". I think you get my point. Throw the mental measuring tape in the trash and stop comparing yourself to others. Celebrate your accomplishments and theirs. Use the good ideas of others for inspiration to enhance your life. Just like I was able to use some features of my friend's website to improve my own, how do I know that someone isn't looking at my website right now and thinking it's the best thing since sliced bread? Comparison can be a tool for motivation, but stay away from the self-critique and the self-doubt. Your journey may resemble that of others, but it is uniquely your own. Live in a world of both and. Be awesome and celebrate others being awesome too. There's room for both. Thank you for listening to my Table for One podcast episode. For more information about our episodes or to provide feedback, please follow us on Instagram at Table for One Podcast, or reach out to us with your experiences of how you've used comparison as a motivator at table412023@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning into our podcast, but don't forget your doggy bag. Today's doggy bag edition is a recommendation for a talented DJ who can keep your party going all night long. Check out my friend Chris Andrews on Instagram at DJBoy, BOI_wonder for booking information. He'll keep you stepping, bouncing, sliding, twerking to the beat. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode.